thank you, everybody. I know it's getting near to the end of the day and maybe it's cocktail hour for some of you. So thank you for joining us. I'm really looking forward to this conversation with Nicolas Dessaigne, partner at YC and founder, and Jean de la Rochebrochard, Kima Venture. Is that good?
Not bad.
Okay, I did French for like 2 years in secondary school in Ireland. A partner at Kima Ventures. So 2 seasoned investors, entrepreneurs who have, I think, a lot of very interesting global experience in the investment landscape. So excited to chat to you both. So maybe just to start off, let's start with you, John. Tell us a little bit about your, adventure so far and what brought you to Kima and what keeps you there.
Sure. My name is Jean. I run the venture capital arm of Xavier Niel, this famous telco tycoon in France. And we've been doing that for the past 10 years, investing in over 1,000 companies. And what keeps me doing this for the next 10 years is that AI is just starting. So
great.
There we go.
And I'm Nicolas. We have invested in more companies than you did, which is telling
per year.
I don't know how many, 5,000, something like that. And so I'm a partner at Y-Combinator in SF. I've seen a few faces here. Is there any YC founders in the... Wow, quite a few actually. Cool. And before that, I was the co-founder of Algolia, which is a search API.
Great.
And did YC.
And maybe just sticking to that history, can you tell us a little bit about how your experience as a founder, especially a French founder who went to the US, to the Valley, correct?
Yes.
How that shapes your, I guess, day-to-day now as a decision maker?
I don't think it impacts my day-to-day that much. Maybe I'm going to be a little more understanding of like the European culture. So I end up working with a slightly more European founders than other American partners. But the truth is that having been a founder is super useful, but it's just one data point. I know Algolia, I've built Algolia, awesome. But then as I started to work at YC, I realized that it was just one data point among so many. And so I had to relearn everything. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And what about you, Jean? How would you say that your kind of investment thesis varies?
Well, I think that we have lots of very ambitious founders who tells us that they are the best players in the world. And we're like, okay, but so you want to play in League One, and they do this from France. But if they really want to compete in the best league, they need at some point to try to conquer the US. So our ethos with Kima, and that's why we invest in so many YC companies, is to help those European founders conquer the US, even if at some point they decide to come back to also build back here.
We're here to help.
And let's talk a little bit about just the general hype around AI, right? Like I read a piece last week that said that a lot of startups are actually changing the name of their company to ensure that AI is in the title because the, I guess, capital rush has been so intense. Tell me a little bit, and if either of you feel free to answer, how do you really due diligence in an environment and buzz like this?
The truth is that we don't do real extensive due diligence at YC because we invest so early. Actually, about a third of the companies doing YC are going to pivot before the end of the batch.
Okay.
And so in a sense, diligencing their idea doesn't make sense. They probably may change their idea anyway. So yeah, the way we look at them is, okay, what have they built? Can they build fast? Can we test the product? Can we see a demo? That's the kind of diligence we do. And the AI has just raised the bar. Our expectations are way higher today than they were ever before. We expect them to build faster. So if they've been working on whatever is a product for 1 month, we expect as much as maybe 12 months before of work.
And to build up on that, I think then when you have founders who emphasizes too much on AI and not enough on product, experience, execution, go-to-market, speed, there is a flag here. So we're also cautious that those founders, they keep building companies. They built companies when internet started. AI is getting started. They're building companies. We're just testing, their ability to do this, and not especially to build with AI. AI is now just a de facto standard parameter, just like the internet was 20 years ago.
Okay.
So sometimes, like people ask us, "Hey, how many companies are AI?" I mean, it's all of them. So it's not a category anymore. It's like you are asking me, "Hey, how many companies are using the cloud?" I mean, if you're not using the cloud, something is wrong with you. So of course they are using AI.
So let's talk a little bit about where there is a small bit of differentiation, and that is between Europe and the US. So what percentage of your portfolio, I presume it's mostly European, is it, John?
It's about 2/3 in Europe and 1/3 in the US. And I think that the tricky part is that US, what you have in the US, people are more eager to take risk. There is more capital, and also the pool of talent is bigger. Even though in France we have insane, incredible talents, especially in AI. But if you look at the fact that AI is speeding up everything, US have always, been kind of better at doing things faster. And so now this trend is increasing. And so for French founders, whether they are based in France or they're going to the US, speed is of essence, and that's everything that matters now.
Okay. And what about you, Nicolas, in terms of, your kind of work at YC? Do you see differences between European and American companies in mindset?
Yeah, I mean, we have to reprogram the Europeans, like change their mind.
I think we have a pretty mixed audience here. How many Europeans do we have in the room? Put up your hand. Okay, me too. American? Wow. I actually thought it was going to be a bigger split than that, but...
No, I think, in Europe, we are told that we should not stand out. Like, ambitions of founders are like very modest. Yeah. And when they come to SF, like if they stay a few months in SF, it just opens their mind on what's possible. And the ecosystem is so supportive. And so it's going to root, like everyone is rooting for you. Whereas here, people are kind of like holding you back. And I think that's a huge difference. And that's why also a lot of Europeans stay in SF after doing YC.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more of like a humility culture, right, in Europe, whereas in the US it's kind of be bold or be nothing.
Well, it's not the US, it's SF.
SF. Well,
be careful here, it's
I
not
don't know, I
everyone's
live in
US.
New York, I would say New Yorkers are bold enough too.
New York is probably 3 to 5x, in terms of magnitude below SF. And the number of companies and founders who decide to go to New York because it's easier for them to work with a team in Paris and then decide to actually move to SF is way higher now because they realize that's where everything happens. And I remember a conversation with an investor there, and he told me, probably 80% of the next $10 billion companies will be built from here, from SF. Why would I even look anywhere else? And that's true.
So I guess then in terms of some of the media narrative that we've seen in the US over the last couple of years around decentralization of tech, you're not seeing that. You see the value as key.
People always come back to that,
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so moving on then, another differentiator in terms of AI and accessibility. So we know there has been a kind of widespread shortage, I would say, of women in technology roles, especially female founders. Do you see a rare and unique opportunity for women to kind of hedge a bet in the AI space? Have you seen much examples of that, or any thoughts?
I've not seen the statistics evolve a lot, like in the last couple of years. I think that's always kind of like a tension in the market. Like there is not enough women who found company, and I would agree with that. I think our limitation is the pool of people who want to build a company, and I don't know how to change that. But I think we need to go earlier in education than expect AI to solve that.
Exactly. It starts with education, and it's also why, for instance, in France we have 42, this coding school, and they try to have as much women as men, and it starts with that already.
Starts at the source. Okay, so moving on then to just general investing. How do you distinguish in this early stage conversations with YC and Kima between AI as a feature and AI as a platform? Like, how do you think about the longevity of these products?
I think there is a thing with AI as a feature where it adds onto some things, and you have to be careful whether you are building something that really add value to a product or whether you're farming on someone else's field. That's what happened in the past with gaming in Facebook and people using Twitter, Facebook as platform to build up distribution, but also to build their companies. And they got smashed when those platforms decided to cut the access. And so the question is whether companies, but it's also true with a SaaS product. Are you building a product that is differentiated by itself, and as people keep using it and is enforced with more and more data within that platform, you build differentiability? And also the other part of the spectrum is platform on which other companies can build on. It's true with Airtable, with Notion, with Salesforce, with Shopify, all those ecosystem where other companies and other product integrates to those startups. And it's hard to find those platforms, but that's what we crave for and try to find.
Maybe let me try to take a different approach. Like if we speak about AI as a feature, but not a feature on top of something, but like more a very niche, small product solving a very simple situation versus this product that can do so much more, then the answer may be slightly different. I think today there is some unique opportunity for startups that didn't exist before. So legacy players, like SaaS players that are like already like in the tens, hundreds of millions of dollars of ARR, have become bloated and cannot move fast. If they want to update the models, they need to spend 6 months to validate whatever. It's going to take forever. Startups can move extremely fast, like in a matter of days instead of months. They don't care about their code anymore. It became a commodity. They can really innovate fast, which means that they can leverage AI way faster than any of the incumbents and go to market with a product that is only possible today. That was not possible 6 months ago. They can provide maybe 10x, 20x, 50x more value, and they have that maybe 2-3 years window of opportunity where the incumbent cannot match them. That is enough to convince many customers to use them. And they have these 2 years to basically build the rest of the platform, if we use that term, and just disrupt the incumbent, and the incumbent are lost.
Wow.
So I think that's unique time for new startups today.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have 5 minutes. We'll just do a quick rapid fire. I'll throw a question at each of you. So I will start with you, Jean. What's one AI trend or application that you think is just wildly overhyped?
Everything is overhyped in AI.
Yeah,
no,
but
what's underrated probably it's all the vertical approach on agriculture, logistic, industries, all the boring stuff. The boring stuff are actually cool.
What about you, Nicolas?
I know I completely agree with the vertical thing. I think, for example, any company working on leveraging a lot of human time, human labor. I mean, there's so much transformation that's going to happen. Like, say, lawyers, for example. I mean, today, people selling software to lawyers, it's a very small market. But the lower market is huge. And that's going to be not replaced, but like conquered by AI. So that's super exciting. I don't know, robotics. Robotics is both overhyped and underhyped.
In this climate, for sure. Okay, so in terms of a takeaway piece of advice to some early stage entrepreneurs in the room who might, talk to the two of you about investment, what would be your kind of like 1 or 2 key takeaways?
Just apply.
That's an easy one. Come on.
No, come on. You have to do better than that.
That's cool.
Okay, be intelligible. That's one.
You can apply with an intelligible application.
Have ChatGPT write it for you.
yeah, ChatGPT is intelligible, but it's good to have like some authenticity in your application. But no bullshit. That's the most important, maybe.
Yeah,
like be very real.
And also the thing is that it's very competitive, like insanely competitive at the moment. So your willingness to win is really important. It's way harder, and so we want to see really competitive people.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you both so much for being with us today on the Grace Opera stage, and thanks everybody for staying with us.
Thank you.